Once upon a time, there was a young prince, so spoiled that he ate only pies baked by his mother, the queen. One day, while strolling through the forest, he lost his way. He wandered for hours, tearing his clothes, ruining his shoes, and eventually spent the night under a tree. By morning, exhausted and hungry, he stumbled into a clearing and saw people gathering firewood. "Can you tell me how to get to the royal palace?" he said. But the people only laughed. His clothes were torn, his hair tangled with forest debris. He looked nothing like a prince. Disheartened, he continued his journey, soon stopping a passing cart. "Can you take me to the palace?" he asked the driver. The man chuckled. "Palace? Prince, you're mad, lad. Better you find a hospital than a palace." Hour after hour, he heard laughter and disbelief from all who he encountered. Gradually, the prince began to question himself, "Why does no one believe me? Could they be right and I wrong? Perhaps the palace and the queen were only my dream." Eventually, he found his way to a small village where a farmer said, "You look hungry. Help me grease my cart wheels and I'll give you some bread." And so the prince, astonished at himself, took up the work. In time, he forgot that he was a prince. He settled in a village, took on work, thought of marriage, and grew certain that the palace and the queen were no more than just a curious dream he'd once had in the forest. Meanwhile, in the palace, the king and queen sent out searchers across the land, desperate to find him. Then the royal counselor advised, "Perhaps the prince has lost his memory. What if, when he was there, he would eat only queen's pies? If he tastes one again, he may remember. Maybe." So the queen baked pies day and night, and royal guards traveled the realm, offering them to everyone they met. At last they reached the village where the prince had made his home, declaring, "By royal decree, all must taste a pie baked by the queen." The villagers eagerly gathered, and though the prince had little time for pie, he joined them out of curiosity. Taking a bite, he paused. "Oh my God, I know the taste," he thought. And suddenly he remembered it all. "I am the prince. Guards, take me home to the palace, to the king and queen." The guards lifted him onto a horse, and he returned at last to his family and the palace. So it is with us Jews. Amidst the daily bustle of works, possessions, and cares, we may forget our origins, lose our memory of that first garden we come from, and come to think we're no different from anyone else. But then comes Shabbat, and its taste reminds us that we are princes and princesses, that we come from a palace that awakens within us the desire to return. Tonight is almost the 24th of Tishrei in the year 5785, and we begin Kabbalat Shabbat with lighting of the candles. I would like to invite Jesse Lee to light the candles for us tonight. Good? Yeah, why not? We have a blessing here. You shouldn't bring anything. Taken by surprise. A bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. Oh, fine. Okay. So the blessing is here. You see, it's very complicated to take you by surprise, you see. Yes.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קישרנו במצווה ותקנית להדליק נר שבת.
Amen. Surprise. We begin our service on page 130 with Lechune Ranena. Let's sing together. Let us raise a shout for God in song, for the Eternal One is a great God, the great ruler of all divine beings. Hayom b'kolo tishma'o. We move to the page 136 and sing together this Psalm of David. Ascribe to the Eternal One, O divine beings. Ascribe to God glory and strength. Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hir'im. Adonai, Adonai, al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai bakoach, Kol Adonai behadar. Kol Adonai shover arazim, vayeshaber Adonai et arzei halvanon. וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסיריון כמו בן רעמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו, אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. את עמו בשלום. May God grant strength to our people. May God grant our people peace. We come to Lecha Dodi on the page 138, 139. We will stand up at the very last verse of this piyut. Open the door is open already to greet Shabbat. Let's sing together.
Shabbat,
official moments to see each other's smiles, to look each other's eyes, and wish each other Shabbat Shalom. We can roam around the shul to say Shabbat Shalom to each other, and then when we hear Psalm 92 on the page 140, we come back. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. You have gladdened me by your deeds, O God. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Eternal One. How very subtle your designs. Ishbar lo yada, uchsil lo yavin et zot. Let's sing together. We come to Baruch on page 146. Please rise for Kaddish. Chatzi Kaddish.
בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתבהר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשו
בריחו
אלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה
ואמרו אמן.
We may be seated now. We continue on the page 148, the first blessing, leading us to reading of the Shema, but not yet the Shema. First blessing, let's recite together in Hebrew, 148 to the top of the page. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu, Melech Haolam, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם, ורקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, הוא מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן, אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Never remove your love from us. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who loves your people Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. We rise for Shema Israel. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We may be seated now. And let's read responsively on the page 157 in English. The indented text is yours, and the one that starts from the beginning of the sentence, from the line, is mine. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say there is one God in heaven and earth. May heavens declare your glory, may earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcome oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? 5. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד החזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Israel. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into the shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. We sing Ashkivenu on page 160. guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Baruch Ata Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. Since we're reading this week Torah from the very beginning, and it's Shabbat Bereshit, and we read about the creation of the world, what could be the best kavanah for our Amidah, for our prayer now, than just to observe and happily to acknowledge how great is the world we live in, with all its challenges, how many opportunities, how many blessings and gifts were given. And on Shabbat, we also think about the creation of the world, every Shabbat, not just on Shabbat Bereshit. So this is a double portion of acknowledgement. On Shabbat, we do not say penitential prayers, we do not ask for things. What we do is we observe. So let us just close our eyes for a second while we are standing up for Amidah and think of the things in the world, maybe from the childhood, that once struck us when we saw them the first time. Lightning, rainbow, anything it could be. And let's try to recap and to refresh this feeling. We're on the page 164, preparing ourselves for Amidah, a prayer before God.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Tzara.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוליד הגשם. מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח מצמיח ישוע ונאמן תלך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. 172. אתה קידשת את יום השביעי לשמך, תכלית מעשה שמיים וארץ, וברכתו מכל הימים, וקידשתו מכל הזמנים, וכן כתוב בתורתך. It's written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day God finished the work that God has been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that had been done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God ceased from making all the work of creation. אלוהינו, אלוהי בתינו ואמותינו, ארצנו ונחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך, ספנו מטובך ושמחנו בשורתך, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת. והנחילנו, אדוני אלוהינו, באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה, אדוני, מקדש השבת. רוצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, תפילתם באהבה תקבל, ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך. אל קרוב לכל קורב, פנה אלוהיך וחוננו, שפוך רוחך עלינו, ותחזן עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר שכינתו לציון. מודיעים אנחנו לך שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ולהבתנו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן נשינו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day. ערב, בבוקר, בצהריים. הטוב, כי לא חלו רחמך, והמרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך. מעולם קיווינו לך.
ועל כולם, ועל כולם, יתברך ויתרומם, יתברך ויתרומם, שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד. יודו חסדיך ויהללו את שמך באמת. האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו, עזרתנו סלע. ועל כולם, ועל כולם, יתברך ויתרומם, יתברך ויתרומם, שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Amidah is over, we may be seated. Let's continue this image in our heads of a perfect world that was created just for the sake of human beings. Just for a few seconds, let's concentrate on it. This week we read Bereshit. We read from the very beginning of its Torah. And the first words of the Torah invite us to contemplate on the creation of the world we live in. From the perspective of science, the earth is not less than 4.5 billion years old. For most of that time, it was a world without humans, just geological forces at play, life slowly emerging in the most basic forms. And then somehow, in a blink of the eye, maybe a couple 100,000 years ago, our ancestors appeared. Compared to the lifespan of the whole earth, we've only just arrived. We're like newborns here. Think about how far we've come. Early humans huddling around fires, creating tools from stone, slowly developing language, culture, civilization. The path from the first humans to us was a long one. Yet, even as recently as 500, 600 years ago, we were burning people at the stake during the Inquisition. It wasn't that long ago. And science, as we understood it today, modern evidence-based science, is only a few hundred years old. Then, somehow yesterday, came the Industrial Revolution, just a couple of centuries ago, a heartbeat in the grand timeline of our humanity. Suddenly, we had machines, factories, mass production, and the world changing at lightning speed. In a matter of generations, we went from horse-drawn carts to airplanes, from candles to electric light, from rural villages to sprawling cities. And it's a remarkable achievement, isn't it? In some ways, we have much to be proud of. We've harnessed the forces of nature, we cured diseases, we built skyscrapers, we explored outer space. But at what cost? Recent studies tell us that in just these few short centuries of industrialization, we have polluted the planet to such an extent that even if the entire world today stopped polluting, we wouldn't be able to reverse the damage in our lifetime. At best, we'd slow it down to deterioration. The air we breathe, the oceans, the soil, everything bears the marks of humanity's rapid expansion. So after all progress, after all we've accomplished, what does it really mean to master nature? In our portion, we first hear about humanity's role in the world. In Genesis 1:28, we read where God tells Adam and Eve to fill the earth and master it, to have dominion over all living things. And this powerful statement some have interpreted as permission to exploit the earth, to take whatever we want from it. But if we look closer, we see something else. In Genesis 2:15, God places Adam in the Garden of Eden, Le'avda u'leshomra, to till it and to tend it. These words imply care, responsibility, and definitely balance. Humanity is not given a blank check to use the earth however we please. We are its stewards, its caretakers. Mastery, according to the Torah, isn't about domination, it's about guardianship. Yet, like the generations before us, we sometimes confuse power with wisdom. We may be powerful, but we're not always wise in how we wield that power. Our desire to control the world can blind us to the consequences of our actions. Modern psychology confirms this same idea in the Torah about the humans. We all crave control over our own lives, our environment, our future. But then when we try to control too much, when we push the boundaries too far, we often create more chaos than order. And Bereshit asks us, what kind of masters do we want to be? The rulers of old, taking and taking until there is nothing left? Or we really can become the kind of stewards God envisioned us to be. Those who care for the earth, for one another, and for future generations. And the choice is still ours. And yes, we've made mistakes, big mistakes, but we still have the ability to change how we live in the world we are given. We can start by being more mindful of our impact. We can make small but meaningful changes in our daily lives. How we use our resources, how we treat the earth, how we interact with the people and creatures around us. And we don't have to look far for the examples of this kind of stewardship. Let's take Ethiopia, for instance. For many years, it suffered from devastating deforestation and soil erosion. But in recent years, Ethiopia has turned the tide. The government, along with local communities, launched a massive tree planting initiative with a goal to plant billions of trees. And just in few years, in one single day, they set a world record by planting over 350 million trees. Think about that, a nation coming together to restore its land, planting seeds not for just themselves, but for future generations. That's stewardship. Another great example in our region, the Great Green Wall Initiative, a project meant to stop Sahara Desert from spreading by planting a wall of trees across the width of the continent from Senegal in the west to Djibouti in the east. Communities are coming together to plant trees that not only stop the desert, but also bring life back to the land, improving soil quality, providing food security, creating jobs, becoming the lungs of the planet. And it's a powerful reminder that humans can work with nature to repair damage and restore balance. These examples are modern interpretation of what it means to till and tend the earth. And they show that we are not powerless in the face of environmental changes. When we come together with a shared sense of responsibility, we can bring about real change. And isn't that what is written in the Torah, what it teaches us? That we are partners with God in creation, that we are tasked with the sacred duty of protecting and guarding the world we live in. And there are many stories which inspire us to ask, what can I do? How can I be better steward in my own life? Perhaps it's planting a tree in my backyard, cutting down on waste or supporting sustainable practices in the community. Whatever it is, we should know that every small action is a part of a larger story of healing, restoration, and hope. The Torah never asks us for perfection. Otherwise, we would just live 1 year before something bad happens. And we are given many chances to restore what we've been and to become better. And here we are, reading Bereshit again, just like last year after Simchat Torah. And each year we return to the beginning of creation, which reminds us that life itself offers constant opportunities for renewal. And this Torah reading cycle that we've completed and started from the very beginning, just yesterday in the morning, it's a call to reflect on how we are living, to recognize the limits of our control, the fragility of the world around us, and the need to come back to where we were and to make something much better. We are not asked to master the world through power, but with purpose and care. Even though we are not masters of our past, we can make better choices moving forward. And this is what is meant by being a steward of God's creation. To live with awareness, to protect what's been entrusted, and to embrace each new beginning as a chance to restore balance, remembering that big things start small. Shabbat Shalom to all of us. I forgot to tell you completely when you came to the Simchat Torah service that we should, around Simchat Torah, we make new obligations for ourselves. So let's think of a congregational obligation for this year that can make life of the whole planet better. Maybe let's plant trees with our kids. Let's just think, I'm just giving few options of what we can do. Let's plant trees. We have some place in the garden still. Maybe the trees which bear something, maybe let's plant a etrog for the next years. Let's plant something that we really need and what is healthy for us. Just a thought. We can make individual decisions, but also collective ones. And let's try to live more mindfully. With this, we come to the conclusion of our service, and I would like to invite today Tony Rubin and Greer to be our ark openers for Aleinu L'Shabeach, which is on page 586. And when the ark is open, we're all requested to stand up in honor of the Torahs that are there. Page 587 is Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו. ידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
We're on page 595, preparing to recite the Kaddish, joining our hearts together in singing Yesh Kochavim.
יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ונם. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר
From Beit David, tonight we remember Hilda Licht, mother of Roy Licht and grandmother of Ryan Licht, Sam Britton, father of John Britton, Otto Meyer, grandfather of David Meyer, Dylan Jess Zultz, son of Irene Zultz and brother of Cody Lee Zultz, Leslie Ross, mother of Michael Ross and father of Michael Ross and grandfather of Warren Ross, Brett Murray, father of Teresa Sobel and grandfather of Deborah Grief and Louise Isaacs. From Beit Menorah in Pretoria, we remember Thomas Macaskill, father of Don Macaskill. And also those who passed away recently, Gail Azetsky, mother of Joel and Karen Angeline Azetsky, and Ronnie Youngelson, father of Calandra Youngelson. I would like also to commemorate Rabbi Walter Jacob, the founder of Abraham Geiger College in Germany, who I had the privilege of knowing. If you have more names, please add them now, out loud or just in your thoughts. We also remember those who lost their lives in wars and those who have no one to remember them. Join on page 598.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריב לאלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Thank you very much for coming in person. We may be seated now. There are a few announcements before we go to enjoy the Kiddush on Shabbat evening. Thank you very much, those congregants who found it possible on a weekday to be with us in person and online for Simchat Torah celebration and contributed in so many ways to make this service very special. There is no header class for our kids tomorrow. Classes will resume next Saturday at 8:15 with Mora Dayan. There will be a joyful celebration of baby naming, of Simchat Bat ceremony for Katleho. We don't know her Hebrew name yet because it's a tradition not to reveal it before. Mazal Tov to the Montla Moyaba family, and please come to support them. Next Shabbat, 2nd of November, we will be celebrating the adult Bat Mitzvah of John Smith. Details of the unveiling of a tombstone for the David Wolf will be circulated shortly for those who would like to pay their respects to David, faithful servant of Beit David and its founding member. Please make a note in your diaries for the next Friday evening, not November, 1st November. We will be holding a special bracha after the service in honor of Rabbi Shimon, who is returning to Belarus. This is an opportunity for congregants to say their farewells to Rabbi, just get together, just to sit, drink, eat, enjoy Shabbat, and find ways how to stay in touch. Please répondre sur votre, I don't know French, RSVP to the synagogue office by Tuesday 29th of October for catering purposes. And please join us just after we sing Shabbat Shalom and Yigdal there at the table for Kiddush and October birthday blessings. Don't hide, we know who you are who had birthdays in October. Yigdal is found on the page 628. Let's sing together. Shabbat Shalom.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח, נמצא בעיני אל מציאותו, אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו, אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם לכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפן נבואתו נתנו, אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומביט את אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו, לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרישתו, ישלח לקץ ימים על כל בשר רוחו, לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו. חיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ברוך עד שם תהילתו. חיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ברוך עד שם תהילתו.